not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for bid during commercials because the revolution will not be televised.
This right here for the number one shit with your number one. You ain't number one, just another one. Now everybody saying that they number one.
Ring the alarm, the caterpillar keeps firing. Oh, we in the war, where butterflies keep dying.
I'm a product of Parker, Lewis, and Kubiak. If I didn't do this, where in the fuck would you be at? See, there's a difference between us. What I spit hit arenas, you would drip from my penis. I eat lions and sip hyenas. You number one when it come to slaughtered mics. I'm trying to be number one in my son and daughter life. All you niggas, my little rapper babies. Y'all my children, y'all bit my shit and contracted rabies. Don't you grade me next to these rappers, baby, that's degrading. My style got so many different facets, I switch into so many different patches. I'm skipping class to be fascinating. My pen is like Big Ben, this shit just a classic waiting. Your favorite rapper come at me, I just decapitating. Out here congratulating these haspers who had their highs. These rappers only won they matches because they strategize. I bring adequate to these patterns and here's my battle cry.
Ring the alarm, the caterpillar's firing. Oh, we in a war where butterflies keep dying.
Hey, this right here for the number one shit with your number one. You ain't number one, just another one. Now everybody saying that they number one kid, think you number one quit. Number one song, get your number one chick. Number one fly with your number one kid. When it's all done, then your number gon' swim.
Hold up, wait a minute, guess what I'ma never do? Show so much respect to you that I feel like we're friends, so now we're no longer competitors. That could be the death of you. Never let someone who's not as smart as you gas you up and tell you something you never knew. Always stay professional, you always gon' make revenue. Don't let people next to you that don't want the best for you. It's completely normal to hold on to a regret or two. I do what I wanna do, they do what I let them do. Everything these niggas be saying is a fucking lie. It's nothing I can say to you that is real. Remember when you praising the butterfly, don't you ever disrespect the fucking caterpillar.
This right here for the number one shit with your number one. You ain't number one, just another one. Now everybody saying that they number one kid, think you number one quit. Number one song, get your number one chick. Number one fly with your number one kid. When it's all done, then your number gon' swim.
You're looking at a tiller, the psychopathic killer, the caterpillar. Don't tell me when I'm supposed to rap until, especially when your favorite rapper ain't even half as ill. A savage still attracts a banana peel, attack of the silverback gorilla. You're having a little trouble fathoming this is actually happening, like Anderson Silverback when he snapped the shit in half and then had this shit hanging by a flap of skin after he tried to plant the shit back on the mat again. Had to pin a batty like eyelids when they're blinking a lot. You copy me, but you're not. You can't be butterflies. My offsprings are this moss. I see that thing, I'ma squash it and rip the wings of it off. So ring the alarm, pull the extinguishers off the wall, set the sprinklers off. Like Jada Pinkett and Queen Latifah, to the shingles come off the roof, wheels shout at the ceiling, slaughterhouse in the building, middle fingers aloft. Say what I think when I rhyme in ink pen, I talk in a language I speak, it's my mind. Kingpin and penguin combined, spit like it's king of the dot, a singular thought. I think I will help you distinguish apart the frost from the cream of the crop.
Wait a minute,
Hold up like a flashcard, damn dog. Zach copying or paying homage. Sad because dad taught you to rap as a damn toddler. My dad is your grandfather. I have to rehatch on you. Come back as a black wasp. Half yellow jacket you can't swatter. Sasquatch dancing on top of an ant. Trample it and stomp it, smash it and stand on it. Damn it, I can't stop it. The rap is a badge and I'm going in like a tampon in this bitch. It's a manslaughter. Stamping out grasshoppers. You can't be no rap gods. In fact, you're exact opposite. You make a wax song and can't hold a candle, but even Danielson wax off. You jack offs. Need to come to grips like a hand job. The boom bap is coming back with an axe to mumble rap. Lumberjack with a hacksaw. Number one, but my pencils are number twos, cause that's all I do's when I'm poop is my pseudonym. On the John like a prostitute when I'm dropping a deuce, and when I'm producing them lyrical bowel movements, these beats are like my saloon, cause these bars always got my stools in them. And I don't need Metamucil to loosen them. Bitch, shit is real like I pooped Jerusalem. I'm about to go spin another cocoon, and I'm cutting you from your mother's womb, then I'm flushing you.
Welcome everybody to another fine episode of Drinkin in Devon. I'm your host, Old Man Rukus. Here, brought to you as usual by your man Jack Daniels. I'm also joined by Tommy Turner, the Ninja Turtle. The guy just popping up.
Yo.
Hero Billy.
My brother, Bino.
That's Butters. That's Butters.
Butters, what's up, bro?
What up, dude?
How you feeling, good brother?
I'm good. I can't complain, man.
Oh, man. Glad to have you here, good brother.
Yeah.
You ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got some things to talk about. So today's episode, Standing on Business.
Okay.
And if people knew how prophetic this title was, because we were talking about this a couple weeks ago, and today I can't talk about it too much because mental will kill me, but this is one of them days where I think we made some right moves. You know, it's been a struggle. Tommy would know because I've been definitely sleeping in his room. I had some days where I felt like I couldn't make it happen, but ultimately things work out. I mean, you know, for guys who do pray, you know, God definitely worked in my favor this time. And for those who don't, consider it luck. But there's a lot of things that happen. It's been happening for me that definitely has been working out in my favor lately. Ultimately, you know, doing those down to the team, it frees me up for some more creative things. And, you know, me and Tommy were just kicking around with the series, The Bill IT Guy, which, let me see if I can show people this.
Where Mess at?
Huh?
Where Mess at? Mensa?
Mensa, he's going to hop on later. He's in a call right now. The call I kind of just got out of.
Okay.
So let me see if I can show the Bill IT Guy series. Oops. Trying to find it on my video on my page. Yes.
I should have something a little bit. I got you.
I'll be back too.
All right.
Oh, yeah. How can I help you?
Hi, Bill. My computer is having a stack trace error and freezing.
How long has this been an issue?
It just happened while I was playing a game.
All right, I'll be right over. So in reality, you can definitely stack a draw 4 on top of a draw 2, but you can't stack a draw 2 on top of a draw 4. Only another draw 4, even if the color did change to blue. Told you.
Oh, man.
Sorry, man. Invoice is in the mail. So I'm getting freed up to do a couple things that I've been wanting to do. You know, life is lifing, good and bad.
Right.
Tommy, talk to me, good brother.
I've been selling.
I've
been selling plasma, man, for the past 4 days.
Shit.
Donated. They give you $100 the first joint, but I only got 85 because I'm 5 pounds off the mark. You got to be $150. I'm 145.
That sounds tiring as fuck.
When I went the next time, I put ankle weights on, and they didn't know, so I got the full 100. So I go twice a week, donate. I'm in the chair for about an hour, in and out.
Nice. Also, a bit of good news. My mom had her last surgery. We're hoping it's good, so she's home now.
Good.
Shit.
Good.
So
just being in the hospital could be depressing.
Like a motherfucker. Third, bro, we missed your last one, man. How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. Life is, like you said, life is life, man. Just trying to, get my head on straight and keep moving forward.
So today is Standing on Business, and I can't really think of too many people more that applies to than you, brother.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You're doing the thing you love. Don't get me wrong, and just because I could tell better than anybody, just because you're doing the thing you love, don't mean it'll stress you out some days.
That's a fact.
Yeah. I go through that with comedy, but you know what? When you do love it, when you actually like what you do, You love the good with the bad.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's
you
just
got
my body and my brain exhausted, yo. 420 was fucking nuts, man. We had over 1,200 customers. So it's still 420 in this house till March,
right.
Because I spent all day getting everybody else high. I'm gonna stay high till I goddamn well fucking feel like it. That's where I'm at.
Nice.
But even like from that, man, and you know, it's always that complicated mix of, you know, just the social dynamics of the world, the people you work with and shit like that. And trying to problem solve issues and stepping into the shoes of the workplace. And it's just like, shit makes my chest hurt, dog.
Yeah, man. I call it the plantation.
At this point, bro, like we joke around at work talking all the time. Like, yeah, like I may work like I work overtime. So like I'm always at like 45, 50, 55 hours. But it's like I work nights, so it feels like I live there. You know what I mean? Like I spend all night there, and I love it. I love what I do. I love every bit of it. You know what I mean? Like I get to sit back and fix the menu and look at all the test results, and so it's like fire shit. It's just a lot. It's just a lot.
You know something I learned? Now, most people look at me like a leader. Now, what people don't understand is that leadership in general, no matter who you are, as a man, as a dad, as a brother, I've learned today, probably fortunately not the hard way, but sometimes being a leader means stepping back, saying, "Hey, I can't do this shit. I'm not. It's not that I'm not good at it. It's just that this isn't the certain aspects of leadership aren't for me." Versus the things that I do bring to the table that are for me. And I've had to step back. I had to take a step back today. You know, I can't talk about why because, you know, again, Mensa. But I can't say it was one of those days which today, you know, he was able to let me get some frustrations out. But ultimately, you know, I felt like we made the right decisions. I feel like I made the right decision saying, Mensa, hey, bro, I can't do this shit, man. I need you to take the helm on this aspect. And let me focus on the thing that I do, which is leaking and hacking and doing my thing. So I feel like today, more than anything, you know, just with you guys, especially here, you know, I'm super glad I got you guys to talk to about this. But it's like when you feel like you have to stand and tall doing what you do, you have that issue where it's like, damn, you know, standing up sometimes hurts your back. You don't have a cane. You don't have a wheelchair. You got to stand up when that shit is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I feel like we all are. You know, 420 for you. Days, I mean, that's what you do. You know, you take it. You take it like a champ. I had to call. You know, I was checking on you that day because you know I saw some messages. I was like, I ain't like it. Like, hey, let me check on Jay and make sure my brother all right.
Yeah, these last couple of weeks been yeah. I don't even want to get into all that, but yeah, it's been a time over here.
Oh yeah, but ultimately, as long as your mental health is, you know, is stable, I want to say a great condition, but as long as it's stable, you know, I'm good because I don't have to come to Albany and be like, all right, what's wrong, Jay? Let's get this shit. But you know what I mean? It's where I was in the same boat. I'm at Tommy's house. Tommy was like, all right, Bill, just you sit here. You know, stupid shit. I just need you to sit here and chill.
You know, you're always welcome to come back and kick it.
Of course. So I feel like today, you know, it's a bittersweet day.
Yeah. Wasn't too bad.
Oh yeah.
No stress is a good thing. It ain't got to be a lot going on. As long as the day is peaceful, I'm happy. I'm happy. Last week was crazy. We had a couple hundred people.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure half of them was bots. We had like 300 people pop up, but a lot of them didn't register on YouTube, so I ain't sure how many were real. But we did have more engagement last Friday than we ever had.
That was
like it was at least 10 to 15 people who were actually engaging in. So it was like it was more than normal.
It was dope.
Oh yeah,
That's good. That's good.
And then they continued after.
Yeah. I wonder if that had to do with because you switched days.
It might have been, but at the same time, it was controversy.
That always sells.
Oh yeah.
That will always sell. That's why I can't wait to get like on in comedy and start beefing with the big dogs. I want to be under Cat Williams' umbrella. I want to be on that team.
Now here, well, let's talk about that one because you've had some pretty high profile beefs.
Mm-hmm.
You've beefed with, Ray, where I wouldn't call that beef so much as, I look at the
Competition. Competition.
Yeah, it's different with competition, but you have legit beef with Aries Spears. It's fucking crazy.
He avoids me. He knows that if he engages, that only helps me, especially if I win, which I will.
Yeah.
He knows that. If he thought he could win, he would engage. He don't engage because he know he fuck around and lose.
Yep.
Oh, and he'll lose. If I could just like punch him on camera and it go viral, I would love that. I would love it. Make it to TMZ. Love it. Unknown comic beats the shit out of Aries Spears. That's it. That's all I need.
You ever seen that comic Josh Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like he just came out of nowhere.
The white dude.
Not the white dude. Black dude. Now he's on the Daily Show, that show Trevor Noah used to be on.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious at what the fuck he did because now he's funny as fuck. Don't get me wrong, but like he's stand up. Like he's not like I'm going to be in all these shows funny, but he is funny as fuck.
He probably had a moment, something that went viral. He got involved in something. That's all it takes.
Yep.
All it takes is to be put on once.
Yep. That comic that did the Meek Mill joke. That joke went viral. Now everybody know who he is.
Oh yeah.
And
I got Tavares. My son Logan, who don't need to be watching this one because it's definitely not for kids, but love you, little boy. Plus, oh man, then this shit, this being a grandfather shit is kicking my ass. But I had to get with my son because now he was. Don't get me wrong, all my kids they ask for money, they get money, but we're in a situation now. Now my son, I explained to him, look, my grandson is going to come to his grandpa and be like, for spoiling and shit. He's not looking at grandpa like grandpa's going to take care of us the same way you don't look at your grandpa like he going to take care of you. You call dad. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got him a job. I got him a job out here to interview with it up here to make sure he get in some places. But it's you're at a point now in your life that you got a baby, you got a whole girl you got to take care of, you got a family. They're not trying to hear dad. They're not trying to hear grandpa going to take care of it. They're trying to hear dad going to take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's good. JoJo's got a good head and shoulders. So it's like, he just needed that ass kicking and he's going to get it because that's where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stand on this shit because as a man, it's hard. Fuck, I got six kids. I got 5 other ones to think about other than him. So as much as I'm going to give, I'm going to always make sure my son is all right. That goes for all my kids. But just like I was telling him, they're not coming to me saying, am I going to take care of you? They're going to come to you.
Yep.
Right. You chose to lay down with this girl. And she's not a bad woman. She's not a bad girl at all. She's 19, she's just like him. And, they both in high school. So they're in a better position than they would be otherwise. But you chose to have a baby with this girl. She chose to have a baby with you. Yeah, I knew what this was. I don't know if you understood how hard it is, but now they kicking you. This baby gonna be kicking your ass. This baby gonna get older. Baby gonna be like, "Hey, Dad, what you got?" This is where we are.
Oh yeah, we was just touring a preschool this morning.
So it's gonna get harder. It don't get easier. This shit is fucking real. It's not for the weak. And I ain't raised a weak child. So that's where we are. But you know what I mean? I get in his ass about these jobs. He's trying. So as much as I get in his ass, I will give him. He's working on trying to get it. So now he's gonna come up here from North Carolina to get take care of his, take care of what he got to take care of here, so he can bring them back here. But no, I told him he was like his girl's parents ain't really helping out. And I said, "It's supposed to. You are. It's your job now.
Right.
It's not her dad when you traditionally when her dad said when you took this girl, you had a baby with her. Yeah, I ain't getting married. Yeah, damn sure I'm not getting married right now. But you took this girl, you chose to have a baby with her. You got to handle your family. Because ultimately, even if they decide to break up, y'all still got a baby. And y'all might make it. I hope you do. You might not. Ultimately,
And that is for life. I had my son at 23, and oh man, that was rough. Wow, my BM just texted me. Wow, I liked it better when we didn't talk. We agreed to be social,
right?
And now she calls me regularly, and I don't like it. I didn't realize that would be how I felt. I mean, I'm glad it's better for him, but oh God, I can't stand that woman. But I gotta show her respect. Unfortunately,
Jocelyn's not a bad mom.
You
gotta give her that.
Not at all.
How much you don't like her.
I tell her that.
Just like me and Jess go through our shit, but Jessica is a fucking amazing mother.
Right.
I'll never take that from her.
Right.
And for a lot of the shit that, because a lot of beef that we and her had was because she takes on a lot of the brunt of things. So this time, I try to be like, all right, look, I'm going to handle the clothes this time. I'm going to make sure I get the kids' clothes. And she was like, what the fuck? Word? Now, I'm going to get it wrong. And she going to laugh. But, I'm trying to get it right so she doesn't have so much stress on her shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we got 5. We got a lot of fucking kids, bro.
Brady Bunch. One shot of Brady Bunch.
I thought I had mad kids. You got mad kids.
Man. If I had another one,
he got good kids, though. He don't know what it's like to have bad kids.
I know. I got busy kids. I just got busy kids. My kids don't like to sleep. They always into shit. But, I mean, like Channel, my son, my 3-year-old, he slapped me in the face today.
It's amazing.
The honest, the patience of God.
Yeah. It's amazing how fast they really do grow up, man. I miss the little baby version of my son. When anything you do, they was like amazed.
Right.
Now I got teenager problems, and oh my God, I could definitely do without that shit.
I'm getting close. I got a 12-year-old.
I ain't never having another one.
Yo, Dante is something else, man.
Yeah, but see, now here's your problem, Tommy. Chris is getting there, and Chris is one of them pretty boys like you was in high school. So I give you another 2 years before you're a grandpa too.
Oh God, man.
And it's cool because Chris is a good dude. Chris has always been a good kid. I love
Not as of lately. They've been nothing but problems. Nothing but problems.
You need to get him on the show. Tell Christian hop on the show, and tell him remember he still got me. He can call me too. If he's going through some stuff. And you got to let him go through some shit. JoJo had to go through it.
Exactly.
Caleb going to go through it eventually. Dante's going to go through it. But, you know what I mean? You got both of you guys understand the villages you actually have. And, just us as men. You know what I mean? Because we all, and I know at any given point, if I send JoJo to you, Tommy, you shame Uncle Colleen, that's always been there.
Yeah.
So nothing changes.
I got his back.
And I think that's the cool thing with my life in general. I have a lot of men from all walks of life who I could turn to for support and say, hey, look, hey, you teach my son this. Or even my kids, where they're not hood kids at all. JoJo was different because he was, we grew up in the hood and that's where we lived at. But, my kids with Jessica, I was fortunate after the Army to be able to, provide them the life they are.
Right.
But the thing I told JoJo is that you can't focus on the life you didn't give them, the life you didn't have, and focus on the life you do have. So for me, I focused a lot on making sure the kids have what I didn't have. Now they got everything. But what they don't have is a lot of the knowledge I had growing up in the hood. Some of it they don't need, some of it they don't, they don't want. But ultimately, there's a lot of things that I wish they did have that would make them appreciate what they currently have more. And it's same thing with Jessica. Jessica had a hard life growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And her wants and desires are for her kids to never have to deal with that shit. But a lot of the things that made Jessica who she is as a good mom are because of how she grew up.
Right. That helps in its own weird way.
Oh yeah,
that definitely, because you know what you don't want and what you don't want for your kids.
Exactly.
That definitely helps. And charter. But I need him back here in Philly. Why she moved to Vegas, I will never know. That was just like a weird decision. But I don't argue her because she's a good mom and she's the primary parent. So I got partial custody. I could have took her to court, but one, that means I got to go to court, and two, I'm not gonna do that to her. That's her move. That's her go-to.
Now here's the kicker with that. Here's where you might have to step in. Jocelyn, for as great as a mom she is, can't teach Chris how to be a man.
No, she cannot. I think she's starting to realize that.
And she's going to have to open herself up to say, Tommy, Christian's going to come with you.
Yep. As soon as he finishes school, he's going to be with me.
Good. And he's got support. So when he comes here, he's going to have us. He's going to have, he's going to do. So it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
With third, I know how Shay grew up. I knew the situations that happened with her too. So it's not like, it was all roses with her growing up too.
Mm-hmm.
And with Shay, it's like, and again, I haven't seen her in person since I was little, but within our generations, because technically with Shay, her dad is my actual first cousin, but I was like the baby of the family. So all the McLaughlins and the Crosons and all them, they're all super older than me. So I was like the babies. I looked at them almost like uncles because I was the baby of them. That's why I'm closer with Mina. I'm closer with Nisha and Shay because I'm just like a couple years older than them. Well, I think Mina's older than me, but I'm only a couple years older than everybody. So that's why I was always close with this whole squad. But with her, she didn't have it easy growing up, and even with having the parents she had, it still was hard.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those things, and I see so much how great y'all do with Dante, and so it's like I know you're giving everything we can, and I just think as men sometimes we forget we got to give our kids what we do have.
Right.
The lessons we do have is a big thing.
Right. I learned being straight with my son is the best way. Don't try to hide a bunch of shit from him, and I'll just be straight up with him at this point. Because I need him to know who I am too. I don't want to be this pretend dad, and then he find out stuff about me and be surprised. You know what I mean? So I just keep it 100 with him.
With Chris, plus what you'll understand too is that you can't make up for lost time because they don't. The dad he needs at 17, he's about to be 18 in December. The dad he needs at 18 is not the dad he needs at 13.
Nope.
And when he gets older, he's gonna want to learn some stuff. Look, I don't fucking want to go to these this, that, and third. I want to go here. I need you to teach me about money. I need you to teach me about girls.
Yep. No more going to the movies to see Ninja Turtles. All that.
Oh no, you're gonna go. Yeah, both into Ninja Turtles. So you're gonna go see Ninja Turtles. I'm gonna take my kids to see Ninja Turtles.
He appreciated
it.
When he was a kid, he loved it.
Oh yeah, but you'll also have them times where you just need to go out and sit down at it ain't saying you gotta get them drunk or nothing like that, but you definitely gotta sit down in a more adult atmosphere and say, hey, look, we we need to talk some man stuff.
That's a fact.
And that's what me and Joe do. We sit down, we talk. I get in his ass sometimes, and sometimes he just has to voice his opinions, and he has to feel free to do that and say, look, Dad, look, man, I feel like this, that, and the third with you. And I say, damn, you know what? Cool. I respect that. And this is why sometimes I go, or maybe I can do things differently. But he has to feel like he can come to me as a man and as a father.
Mm-hmm.
Mensa, we called your name 3 times in your hair. What are you looking for, man?
I'm not sure he hears you.
I don't think he can hear me.
Okay, cool.
Nah, we can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bro. You'll be back in. But this is where I feel like, days like today it's been hard, but it's cool because, I mean, I got to, I get to talk to you guys, so that's always a plus. I mean, I talked to Zoo a little bit earlier about her situation, and, she's got to take care of her dude. But it's like, I feel like I'm in one of the positions where life has been lifing, but I got a lifeline, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able, and I'm taking full advantage of it, to be honest with you. I mean, I almost got into an argument today, and I was like, you know what? Maybe my tone was off. Maybe my messaging was off. Let me take a different track with you. Stop the argument in its tracks. It's crazy. It just completely stopped the argument. Like, I mean? I was about to argue with Jessica. I was like, you know what? I see where I see why you think I'm saying this way. It's not that's not my intent. I'm sorry my messaging are coming off. Sorry my messaging is coming off wrong. But ultimately, because she had a super hard day today. I mean, beefing or not, she's the mother of my kids. Like, she's
that's how I look at it.
We beef all the fucking time, but today, it just wasn't them days. I didn't want to beef with her, and I come off. You and I both know I don't know how to talk a lot of times unless I'm talking technically. So sometimes the way and I say this to her a lot. I say with communication, sometimes how you talk to me is a problem. And I recognize sometimes I'm probably that same problem. Sometimes I say things and the way I say it can come off condescending, can come off like I'm being boastful. And that's definitely not the case. Or I won't say it's not the case. I want to say it's not my intent. See what I'm saying?
Right. I think that's what's funny? The problem I have with women, the same thing they like about me is the same thing they hate. They always say the same thing. I love that you so laid back and relaxed, but I hate that you so laid back and relaxed. You never want to argue. You never want, like, everything to you is just like, oh, it's cool, we'll handle it. And I'm like, I mean, I don't see why we gotta want to kill each other to get to a solution. And they seem to tell me, like, when you don't fight with them, when you don't argue with them, they feel like you don't care. Which makes no sense to me, but whatever.
Here's where I combat that. So where I feel like fighting, first of all, I don't want to sit and fight all the time. I don't want to argue. I don't want that stress. But ultimately, I'll sit there and say, hey, look, I do give a shit about your opinion. I do give a shit about your feelings. And maybe the way I'm coming across is wrong. And a lot of times I'll do that. I'll give you some days. I'll just be like, no, I'm sorry, my bad. Just to shut up the argument, whether I think it's right or not. But some days, today, good example. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but I do feel like my tact could have been different. I could have said things. And ultimately, whether I said something right or wrong today could have also come across as, because I'm tired, I'm stressed. She's got a lot going on today. She went to work. Her foot problem's been happening. Dickhead boss, he's a fucked up leader. So, I mean, she's dealing with a lot of shit. And then if I'm coming with my problems too, she don't have the capacity to deal with my problems. She don't have the capacity to deal with my problems, then my problems will come off as an attack. If my problems are coming off as an attack, I'm attacking you. The first thing you do when you're being attacked is defend yourself.
Defend yourself. Yep.
So now she's being defensive. Okay, now you're in defense mode. Let me take a step back because you're in defense mode because you feel attacked. Let me pull back. Let me let you understand that I'm not trying to attack you, and what I'm trying to say is coming across the wrong way. Try this differently, and I apologize for my messaging. And
that makes sense.
I don't always need acknowledgement. Sometimes you don't need acknowledgement for this shit. You just need her to understand that, hey, it is what it is, but ultimately you're not being attacked and you're not the problem right now. I don't want you to feel like you're the problem. I'm going to support you with how you feel right now.
It's a good way to put it.
Oh, yeah. And it took ultimately a lot of stress off of her because now it's like, all right, fuck him, but at least right now,
We're good.
Yeah, we're good right now. You got your 10 minutes.
You know how I'm able to be so calm with women? The way I look at it, if I can stay patient with my mom, it ain't a woman on this planet that could irritate me. That's just how it is. I just got good practice with it. Like, I have to do a lot of calming down with that woman. You know how she is.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't always easy. But years of practice and just ignoring it. Other chicks, it's like they don't even compare when it comes to being a headache. Not even close.
Something I learned about myself. So, this week has been a hard look at myself. 41 years old. Now, I've been in a mindset where I've earned my place to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I still feel like that, but I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like there's a responsibility with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard to say what that responsibility is because I ain't quite figured it out. But with being at a point to where I currently am, I feel like I have even being able to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I have a responsibility, and that responsibility ultimately comes to my kids, comes to my team, comes to a lot of different people who look at me and say, "Hey, Bill, what's the next move?"
Right.
And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Right.
We were talking about earlier, about standing on business and about what was going on. So that's why I was like, we said your name 3 times. You showed up.
Oh yeah, I'm here to spy on you. What's going on?
Vince is just here to make sure I don't say what we talked about in the meeting, but ultimately, this entire
out of love.
This entire stream is about what happened in the meeting, but it's basically it's all around how to stand on business and how to sit back and say, hey, because Vincent is like me. You talked earlier, it was the whole thing. It was like, look, bro, I'm fucking up. I need you to take the helm on this so I can do the things that I'm good at because you're better at this than I am. And that's a super hard pill to swallow sometimes. And fortunately, I have people like you that, all right, Bill, you suck. I got you.
Team building is about, if nobody sucks, it's about taking everybody's, because we're all one link, Yep. So we pick up the pieces where other people's are not that great at. I don't do development. That's where you pick up the pieces.
Yep.
People want to, if people want to listen to what I got to say, let them listen to what I got to say, especially if I'm being your mouthpiece. You can't take that to heart, right? Because it's in your benefit. That's how it works, man. That's how it works.
Definitely,
we when I need something to pick up, just like right now, Dom's picking up the pieces right now. So I'm like, yo, Dom, you got this. And vice versa. So that's how it is. Because it ain't just about you. It ain't just about me. It's about all of us.
So ultimately, standing on business sometimes mean, as a leader, yes, I'm technically the best CEO. I got you. But I'm at a place where I'm CEO by title, not by trade. And the thing that I am good at is what I get to focus on. The reason why I can focus on this because I'm able to sit back and say, hey, man, can you handle this so I can do this shit? All right, Bill. We're going to need to listen or I'm going to choke the shit out of you.
And I'm really good at giving people an out.
Oh, yeah.
That's what a lot of stuff for a lot of men, humans in general, is that if you give them an out, sometimes they will take it. Usually the foolish people don't take their outs. It's like, hey man, you got a chance to save grace and take it out, take it
Mm-hmm. And keep it pushing. Oh,
keep
shit.
it pushing. But
Hold
you
on one
want to
sec.
double down? Yeah, you good.
Be right back.
Yep.
But yeah, that's how it works, man.
So talk to me about your day, Mensa. Me, Third, and Tommy been talking about our show all day about raising kids and
Man, I'm just figuring out my kids, man. Building on that relationship. That's fun times right there. I think I spent like $5,000 on my boy's tooth.
Damn.
Yeah. And Invisaligns ain't cheap. And
yeah.
It's the same way, with adults, man, managing kids, you gotta like this today, like I went to go pick him up for a dentist and he's like, "Oh, did you have to change the appointment?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, next time you think you could, that kind of crap. And I'm like thinking to myself, shut the fuck up, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, I was like, well, he's gonna be a man, I was like, yes, you're right. Next time I'll make you a part of it. You're right. You have a right to know when an appointment is, so you're mentally prepped. You're correct. So, even as a parent, you gotta step back, like, yeah, you're right. Just because they're your child doesn't mean they're not right.
Oh yeah. What's crazy is the kids that challenge you respectfully are the ones who grow up to be somewhat. Cause it's not like he's saying, "Dad, he's not coming at you from a bad perspective." He's like, "Listen, could you let me know when this is happening?" And it gives him a different thing when you say, "You know what, you're right. Let me get you in there." He feels important. He feels like his feelings are heard. He's still showing that respect. You can show respect as a father without having to yell. I'm talking to myself because I'm learning this the hard way myself now. And as a dad, sometimes you got to put that stern voice on. Sometimes you got to get that belt. But ultimately, if your kids feel heard, then they will listen. They're more likely to say, "Hey, listen, hey, Dad, I feel like you did this wrong. All right, let me hear you out." And whether I have to explain it, my reasons why, because I don't believe in, because I said so. Sometimes I'll say because I said so, but then I'll go into, listen, this is why this stuff needs to happen. I'm just as bad as you are. And then I'll especially with cleaning, I'm horrible at cleaning.
Same here.
So when I tell my kids it's time to clean, we clean together. Now we clean together because Jessica, when I'm coming over to her house, she's extremely good at cleaning. She's really good at cleaning, but she's got to handle, like, she got to go into the office all the time. She's got to work, then her foot's bugging her. She's got a lot of shit going on. So, all right, listen, we're going to try and make this shit happen so mommy doesn't have to. And when she has to get in and do her big cleaning, she'll have the energy for that. And you know what I mean? For them days where I'm not here, for them days where she's got to handle these kids on her own. For me, I got more flexibility than her. I can maneuver differently to where she's got to go in the office. She's got to be there at she got to leave out the crib 7:30. Some days she don't get home till 8:00. So these are days like today where I'm with the kids and I'm making sure, or trying to make sure, that she's there and she's, at least when she gets home, all right, my house is a fucking wreck, or you at least tried. And ultimately, that's where. So she's mentally prepared in her head. All right, I don't have to do as much to clean up their messes because they tried to get something done.
Hey, Miss Thoughts and Bots, how you doing today?
This pain in my ass right here. So, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations where I feel like this is how I have to stand. This is how I got to handle business. Today, it was really hard to fucking. I'm telling you, I went to find my kids' clothes. Now she does the clothes shopping. I don't fucking clothes shop. I don't clothes shop for myself. but she does the clothes shopping for these kids. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, bro, like, why the fuck is there so many options? I found I got everything Marvel. I got everything like this Logan. I got everything that looks like some girl shit for Mila. And I got my oldest daughter, some hoodies. I don't know how the fuck she does this shit. Who the fuck, like, bro, you need to go back to sitting your ass on the couch and handle this shit.
Right.
You don't need to go. I'm taking your ass to work tomorrow. How much more money you need? I got you. Like
Right.
you need to handle this mom shit because what the fuck? It was like I'm telling you, I spent maybe $600, and it wasn't like a big deal about spending the money. It's like, how the fuck do you go about doing this shit? Like, bro, then I still got to go get my daughter some sneakers. And it's like, all right, getting sneakers is cool because that's the part I'm actually good at. But clothes,
Moms, they're superheroes, man.
oh,
People don't, make sure you men out there, make sure you or whoever, make sure you give your spouse their flowers. That's all I can say. Give them their flowers.
oh, she gets the middle finger, but but I will never take away from her this mom shit because I've said multiple times if something happens to her today tomorrow, I won't know what the fuck to do. I'm gonna go to my mom. I'm gonna go to her mom. I'm gonna go to her sister. And I need help. I don't know what the fuck to do. Well, Jessica had to do it on her own. Jessica didn't do it on her own. I bring her the money. Now I got to bring her the money and do all this shit. I liked it better when I could just give her money. But I can't. But ultimately, she's got a lot of shit to do. She's working hard. And then her foot is fucking with her. So she's got to go into the office. She's coming back. She's got to deal with girl shit. She's got to deal with fucked up bosses. So it's like, oh, all right, I got it. Let me handle this. Let me try to take some stress off of you.
Yeah, take that workload, man.
Yeah. As co-parents, we got to handle this shit. At the end of the day, I'm going to give her a finger. I'm going to help her today, make sure she's all right. But then tomorrow we'll be giving each other the finger again. But as a mom, she's a fucking amazing. And I'll never take that shit from her.
Yeah. I'll always be baby mama.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it is, man. Like, always gonna have love for the mother of your kids.
When they're good. I mean, because that's I could be stuck with horrible baby mom. And I would have to do all this stuff on my own anyway. And it's a thing. I mean, I'm one, I know who I know who my kid's doctor is, but I needed to make doctor's appointments. I could figure this shit out. And my oldest daughter, she acts like she's the mom of the house anyway, so I could rely on her for help, but I can't force her to do everything. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Third, I just said he had to run.
Yep.
Stress. Yeah, that's life.
Third, if you need anything, bro, give me a buzz. I got you. But yeah, man, it's this shit is hard. It's fucking, just like I pride myself on being a cool dad because the kids, like, I'll go buy them shit, like they want something in the store or something like that. You know what I mean? Anything they want, I'll buy it. But when it's time to do like actual parenting shit, that's where Jess comes in. That's where she's like, like, all right, Jess, it's time to do some. It's like parents. Look, you got to do this parenting thing.
Yeah. It's human nature, man. Like, usually the nurturing side comes from the woman who bore the kids, like they're gonna always have this connection that us as men are not gonna necessarily have, this inkling, because when the kid comes out of the womb, it's their tasker by nature, if they're able to produce the milk, for God knows years to sustain this child. So that bond and that connection that women naturally feel is something that men just cannot achieve.
Right.
Just the fact that as humans that we even stick around is a miracle, So that doesn't mean that we don't have our own love or our own way of securing and wanting to protect our family, but we show it differently, we just don't necessarily have that. We don't have the maternal nurturing side. We have nurturing side.
Right.
I mean,
but
we don't have the maternal.
But as men, we feel like we have to protect.
Right.
Like some shit goes down. If anybody comes at her, you know what I mean? Somebody has a
9 out of 10, a man that is going to be physically stronger than the woman in aspects. So yeah, it's going to be the men's job. We do things where we make up for where they're not able or willing or wanting, example, doing the heavy lifting in the house, the yard work, stuff like that, stuff where we can still contribute, where they're going to be like, no.
And now, fortunately, I can cook. So, I mean, that's another area I can help in too. But, I'm no her. Like, I can't make a whole Thanksgiving. Now, she like to do shit like mac and cheese. Like, because I'm not a mac and cheese fan, but I like hers. And I like, certain shit that she can make, but I am not good at a lot of stuff that she could do. Plus, I've learned a few things about appreciation. That makes any sense. So it's like, this is also going through therapy, and this is talking to the guys, just being Tommy going back and forth with me saying fuck her, and he was like, all right, you don't really mean that, and I'm like, yeah, this is where I feel. This is where I feel. Tommy will be like, well, did you think about this? Hey, you're supposed to be my brother. How the fuck you on her side?
Nope, he's not on their side. He's giving you critical thinking perspective.
It's real shit. Me and you talk sometimes, and sometimes you gotta just think some real shit, and it's like, all right, me and you talked about this a little bit differently for a different reason, but my messaging, the way I talk, comes off wrong sometimes.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's the same for me. Like I have, dude, talking to civilians sucks ass. I can't, like, civilians suck. So
Yes.
making this connection with you guys is like rare for me, stuff like that, because I can't do it, man. Like I was raised in the United States military. The federal government raised my ass. I mean, don't get me wrong, I had a childhood and et cetera, et cetera. But when you leave the house at 18, 19, you're still a child. You can say what you want adult wise, but adolescence in the head doesn't end, was it on paper, until like 26.
Yeah.
And so for a good portion of my life, I was raised in the military. And so, and thank God, cleaning up after myself, making my bed, ironing my pants, not necessarily stuff that my father didn't teach me or, whatnot, but this is the stuff that it instilled in you to the point where now, because let's be real, most people won't want to do that behind themselves naturally, but because I was held to the fire, now it's just like, okay, I understand the purpose behind all this, the hygiene and this and this and that. A lot of people just don't know, So while I was in the service, you're getting these adult men, adult women who are children, and you're teaching them, hey, you kind of smell today, like this is how you wash your ass. This is how you iron your clothes. This is how you file your taxes. This is stuff I was raising people my whole fucking life, and so it might seem disrespectful for some people, but that's what it is.
But what's crazy about that is that as men, we feel like, all right, can't another grown man tell me what to do? But when you're in the Army or in your case, Air Force, it's kind of the same thing. You got that E5, E6 over you up until you're the E5, E6. And even then, especially with you going at 18, you probably made E5, what, 21, 22? 20?
No, I was slow ass burning, man. I purposely didn't want to make E5 for the longest. You were like a fool to because I was higher tenure. So like between E4, E5, like maybe it's a couple $100, several $100 was the difference.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I'm basically making the same amount of money as you, and legally I don't have to supervise? Yeah, I'm having fun with that. But when I got married, that's when I started like, okay, I gotta make rank, you know. So I held myself back. I actually studied to fail. Like it was that, you know, like so I regret that in the end, but you know, hey, it was a life choice.
What's E4 in the Air Force? Senior Airman, right?
Yes. So, but senior airmen can have NCO responsibilities.
Yeah, kind of like
but
special.
They're not NCOs. Army E4 is you got corporal and specialist, so you have an NCO title in the Army side. But the Air Force does the same thing, but we do it through our schooling, so we still have the same responsibility, but they're not non-commissioned officers.
Right. So that's sometimes worse. With that said, because like in the Army, you know, corporals are usually more on the combat side. You know, for me, when I was artillery still, I made corporal, and then when I went over to signal, they snatched that corporal away and moved back to specialist. But because I was a corporal, I had this responsibility. I knew what to do. I had to be a corporal and still be E4. Now, this is one of the things why I went through the schools I went through, but because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to be a leader. I didn't want to be a boss. I wanted to just do my job and go. And only, you know, that's where I was. So in the Army, it's not always like that. I was one of the fortunate ones to be able to do that. But, you know, it was, you got to, I just want to do my job and go. I didn't want to have to worry about soldiers. I didn't want to have to worry about leadership. I just wanted to do my job.
I wasn't in the Army, but I served in the Army, if that makes any sense. I have 2 Army accommodation medals. So, like, I did a lot of joint operations with all the branches. So I served with you dumb motherfuckers for quite a while.
I used to hate
God, I'm sorry. The Army is stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, you like, because it got to the point, man, because since you're such a larger branch, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Army is just it's truly about grunt shit. Like, for the folks listening, like, if the guys, like, one example, right? When I was overseas, guy was driving me back and he was asking what branch, you know, when I say driving me back, I was working in the theater internment facility, and he would drive me back to the base side. It was all on base, but you got to, of course, drive a distance because you don't want to be sleeping next to the prisoners, right? So driving from one side to the other, and he's talking about the main differences between the Air Force and the Army, because as for the Air Force, we took over the Army side because security forces took over. So our security forces will be considered the Army MOS. So our job is the infantry of the Air Force.
Right.
But we also do law enforcement, like 9 other career fields. Either way, he says, so example would be if Army guy would tell his troop, I want you to walk from here to there. This motherfucker would literally walk exactly how he told him to A to B. No thought process.
Nope.
Air Force side, and this is coming from the driver, like the third country national, that we would call him back in the day, foreigner. And he said for the Air Force guy, he'll go like, okay, and maybe hitch a ride, or like make it easier. Life is easier stuff. And the reason why I bring this up is because the Army did not trust their people at all, because they would make you sign in on these polls to like prove you did something, like this stupid shit. Or if we got relieved by the Army, it was always 2 to 3 ranks difference. So an Army assignment of an E5 we would put in Air Force E2. When our E6s got relieved, it was Army E8s to E9s. So, and same with the Navy. When the Navy took over our post, a Navy chief, and I'm not talking just chief E7 chief, I'm talking E9, took over a position for the E7. And it's to that extreme that it just shows you that it's not that the Air Force is smart. It's that the Air Force uses their military, our resource. Yeah, we promote thinking. Now don't get me wrong. We're not dumb. We're in a position in the security forces where if like, hey, I need you to attack that, that position up there, blah blah blah. The soldiers are going to do it. But if the time is presented, we accept if the airman goes, yes, but it might be better to do this. We won't necessarily cuss them out. We might go, oh shit, you know what? You might be just fucking right, because we have people
that is a no in the Army.
Right, because but the thing is, we have people with degrees, man. Like, so example, I had a troop where they wanted so you have like up to a 5, what they call enlisted reports. 5 was the highest, 1's the lowest, that kind of thing. And they wanted to give him a 4 instead of a 5. I'm like, well, why? So the lieutenant says, well, because of education. And I had to be that guy that tells this 2-year-old who's my boss, because he's got the degree. I go, well, sir, why is it that you're going to mark him down on our education when he's got a master's degree and you have a bachelor's? Because, and he goes, because man says there's always room for fucking education, and screams and yells and throws shit. But my point, I was one of the few who actually spoke out and spoke against. But I had a troop who's 2 ranks lower than me, and he's got a master's, and here's this lieutenant with a bachelor's telling him that he needs more fucking education. It
ain't add up.
Right. Because in the Air Force, if you make E6, your ass better have a degree of some sort, or you're not making rank.
But you also remember your E7s.
That's how much education is promoted.
Your E6s and E7s are often first sergeants, and first sergeants in the Army are like E8s.
Yeah, because so first sergeant in the Air Force is a special duty assignment.
Yeah,
but it is presented. Actually, it starts off as E6, where they start their first sergeant duties, but then when they get their first sergeant star bit, it starts off at, like you said, E7.
Yeah. In the Army, you got to be an E8. You got to be a master sergeant.
But once again, it goes to show you that Air Force's ranking, maturity, age level, we put way more pressure and responsibility. Also, you got to understand that on paper, it's rare that, the average Army grunt's not going to have an EPR bullet equivalent of an Air Force Security Forces member. You're not going to go, I guard $3.5 trillion of assets every fucking day of my life. Where's that on the Army, base? Unless you're doing like nukes or something, crazy. Those Apaches, yeah, they're worth money, but I guarantee you they're not worth as much as those F-22s. I'm not saying no job is more special. I'm just saying the assets are night and day. Also, you go on the Air Force base, it's alive, man. 9 to 5 job, 24/7. Like somebody's doing a normal job. Like it's just alive. Like it's a utopia on the Air Force base, and that's where the money's at, and that's all the functioning. You go on an Army base, and it's like, God damn, man, they got like mold going on in the mouth. It's like, what's happening? And it shows. It's not that the fact that no branch is more important. It's just that the assets, the money goes where the assets are.
Yeah,
and that's in the Air Force or Space Command now.
All right, guys, it's time to close this up. Mensa, you got any parting words?
No, thanks for letting me come through. I appreciate you guys.
Oh man, it's always love when you get over. Tommy, you got anything to say?
So hold on one sec. Well, y'all were I'm gonna need you to explain some of this later.
Yeah,
because I don't understand the Army Air Force talk. Because it sounds dope, but I don't know what E4 needs. So yeah, I'm thinking next session. I need to learn a little bit about that.
Oh,
That sounds fun.
We're gonna talk more.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in.
All right. If you want to come by tonight, Billy, I'm chilling.
Gotcha.
All right, man.
This motherfucker's in the industry. Get your black ass on it in this stream, Bill.